and they
Wait.
are.
Can I go first? Let me go
Go
first.
for
We
it.
get out
You
the
guys
way.
can go ahead because you guys both got the Bucks.
I got Tampa Bay at 4. Of course, 4-13. They're going to be completely horrible. They have a very top heavy roster, but at the same time, their depth is absolutely horrible. Lots of improving rookies throughout both sides of the ball. Ryan Jensen,
Got hurt.
he has his injuries. Yeah, he got hurt. He's out for the entire year, which doesn't help because their O line's absolutely terrible. It's so that I don't know how they're going to get any running production from this entire season. I mean, they got Rashad White still, but he's not that explosive um, to I don't know what word to say, but to at least like neglect those deficiencies on that aspect. They got Mike Evans still, Chris Godwin, but it don't matter because Baker Mayfield's the quarterback. So it's nothing. They're gonna be bad this year. They're gonna be bad. They should be taking for Caleb Williams. I expect them to be top 5 in that Caleb Williams sweepstakes this season. So yeah.
Shador Sanders sweepstakes.
Is he eligible for this year's draft?
I think he is.
hmm Yeah, he is. I don't know.
Interesting.
We'll see.
He might
Running
opt
back.
out and go and run back for his senior year. Maybe it
Um,
depends.
Danny, you want to add to
Who the
that?
players are impressive.
Yeah. Listen, that team is fucking terrible. Baker, Reagan, Mayfield will be watching you with a close eye, watching your last few games in the NFL. But but I'm really hoping that Rashad White can really carry me. He is my RB2 at the moment. I think that he'll be alright. You know what I mean? I think that the receiving production is there, so that's really what I'm banking on. I'm banking on the receiving production, the rushing upside. That nigga might not even crack 1,000 yards with that O line, but hey, the receiving
Eight
upside is
thousand,
there.
8,000, 8,000. Don't say 1K. Boys 8,000. That O line's horrible.
Yeah, he gonna get 8,000 rushing yards. 8,000, Debo, right?
Eight. You know what I meant? 800.
Nah, bro.
Oh,
Nah, bro.
Um,
Learn the game, bro.
800. My fault. 800.
800. He'll be around there. He'll be around there.
Yeah, in that
But
range.
he'll carry my fantasy team this year. Y'all gonna see something about Rashad White. Debo, don't hit me up later on when your boo boo fantasy team after you get blown out by 100 points in like week 3. Don't be hitting me up talking about some. You want to make some trades? No, nigga, I don't want to trade with you. All right, no, I don't want to fucking trade with you, Debo.
No.
um,
Yeah.
my last place team. I did have a two-way tie, so the Bucks were tied for last, but they won the tiebreaker, so they were third.
Lost
Um,
the tiebreaker.
but with a 4-13 record, I had the Carolina Panthers.
Learn the
Um,
game.
no, they got a solid roster, especially their defense. Their defense is very good. Um, but they have a rookie quarterback who I think is going to have a lot of growing pains, and they did nothing to help him out. In fact, they actually tried to hurt him out, try to hurt him by trading DJ Moore in that trade, which is understandable because you had to give up something to get him. But it's like you never replaced him with anything. So what? Their wide receiver one next year is Adam Thielen.
Jonathan
No.
Mingo, learn the game.
Terrace Marshall, that's why receiver one.
Okay, so we all have different wide receiver ones. Is kind of my point. It's kind of my point for the team, right? And it's not like they have different wide
No,
receiver ones because they're all so good.
no.
You can
Wait,
see options.
no, Matt. But your wide receiver one option is the untrained eye.
It's the
See,
untrained eye.
it's the untrained eye.
He just looked at the roster. That's all it was.
He just looked at Madden, saw the highest rated receiver. He
No,
called it
I'm
the
telling you, Bryce Young. I told you, I might regret drafting him, um, and not trading him, um, but I do think Frank Wright's going to be able to make him into a pretty decent player, but I think year one is going to be a lot of growing pains for him.
That's fair. That is fair.
And then, like I said, I had the Buccaneers tied with them for last.
Okay. Uh, at third, I'm going with the New Orleans Saints at 7-10. I do not
No,
care about Derek Carr being their new quarterback. I've seen that man play in my division for over the past decade. I really could not care less. I know who Derek Carr is as a player and a quarterback, and for him as he's not bad. He's a respectable quarterback. He's gonna put up solid receiving, solid QB stats, which he has been doing his entire career. But at the same time, Derek Carr is not a quarterback that can elevate your team. Derek Carr is not the reason why you're gonna go from a team that doesn't make the playoffs to a borderline dark horse contender for a Super Bowl. That is not gonna happen. And with the Saints, I kind of understand trying to run it back with a core that has had playoff success in the past, but at the same time, man, I just don't see it, especially with this coaching staff. I mean, Dennis Allen, I don't like him at
Nah,
all.
yes.
Pete Carmichael as the offensive coordinator, he's bad. Joe Woods, who they just got as a new DC,
Nah,
I don't
he's
like him.
ass. No,
Danny
ass.
should know he's a Browns fan. Like, no, I don't like Joe Woods at all on that side of the ball defensively. So I'm not expecting a lot of big things out of the Saints this season. And for the wide receiver room, if Mike Thomas gets injured again, it's gonna look spooky. It's gonna look spooky. It's gonna look really spooky.
It's just
Olave,
Olave, but who else?
Who else?
I don't care. I don't got anybody else on my fantasy team.
But when you're talking about real life,
hey, shout out Jawan Johnson though. Shout out Jawan Johnson.
I don't care about Jawan Johnson.
You don't care about his wife?
No.
What?
She got a great TikTok page.
I don't care. I don't care about Jawan Johnson or his wife. Now, no disrespect to him or his wife. I'm pretty sure they're great people. But we're talking about football right now and how the Saints will do this season. And I don't think the Saints will do good at all.
Danny, who was your third team? Because
my third team was the Panthers.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
You want to add anything I said?
I think that. Yeah, it was a little too much when they gave up DJ Moore, but essentially it's easier to find a good wide receiver than a good quarterback. So they basically just traded.
You said the opposite when we were talking Packers.
Yeah, but that was when it fit my narrative. So
okay.
It's easier to change. So they basically just changed.
I can agree with that.
They basically just changed 4 quarters for $1. Basically, that's really what they did. They said that it's easier for us to use this to get something now. But the lack of wide receiver depth for this team is going to be pretty huge. But it'll be a developmental year for them. Frank Reich is a good coach, so they'll look like they have like a sense of what they're doing on the football field. They just don't have the talent to be a decent team. I just don't see them winning more than 6 games this year. Yeah.
Dibo, who you got second?
The Atlanta Falcons at 8 and 9.
Ooh,
I like
Panthers.
I actually like their talent on both sides of the ball. They're one of my biggest winners this offseason. Of course, they got Bijan Robinson in the first round of this year's draft. He's going to be great, especially with Arthur Smith's scheme of being a run-first offense. They're going to be probably the best rushing attack in the entire league this season. Defensively, they improved the pass rush, which they were lacking talent on that side for a few years now. Calais Campbell's going to be nice as well, like a nice veteran piece on that D line. I like them getting David Onyemata from the Saints as well too, and they also got Bud Dupree as well. So the pass rush is going to be actually respectable. It's going to be respectable.
Bud Dupree is ass. Don't hype up Bud Dupree, bro.
It's better than like whatever they had before. So it's gonna be fine. And for their secondary, of course, Jeff Okudah and Jesse Bates as well, alongside AJ Terrell, that's gonna make their secondary become more formidable. The biggest reason why I'm not that high on the Falcons is quarterback.
Real deal.
Yep, you hit it on the head.
It's quarterback. Desmond Ridder. I'm telling you right now, Taylor Heineke's going to take that starting QB job by like late October. I promise you.
I need it.
Danny, you had a pretty interesting thought earlier where you said that Kyler Murray was going to be a Vikings quarterback, right?
Yeah,
I
I'd
think the
hope
team
so.
he needs. I think the team he needs to go to is the Falcons.
No,
I
he
think
gets distracted pretty easily, and he'd get distracted out in Atlanta for reasons that I
that's
don't think
fine.
needs to be
He'll do some
explained.
crazy shit with Anthony Edwards if he's in Minnesota.
Hmm?
He'll do some crazy shit with Anthony Edwards if he's in Minnesota.
Yeah, but what can you do in Minnesota?
I mean, I don't know. Yachty
Go
made
to
a
the
song
Mall of
about it.
America.
There's definitely something to do there.
Go to the Mall of
Just go to the
America? Is
Mall
that
of
what you
America.
said?
That's it. Yeah, that's the only thing you can do. You go to one of the
No,
lakes too.
no.
No,
Kyler will be better in the nightlife. He's one of those players.
I'm sure he is.
But we know how I feel about Arthur Smith. We know my opinions on them. We know YouTube's opinions on them, and the subscribers' opinions on them. Shout out for backing me up.
Oh my god, that was bad.
Um,
Baking, bro.
I did
That was
not
so
know.
bad.
I did not know Arthur Stan had motion like that. Arthur Smith had motion like that. I didn't know he
don't
had stands
disrespect
like
his
that.
name. Don't disrespect his name. But no, I think that Dibo hit it on the head. This team is very talented. They are finishing second for me as well. They're very talented all over the field, except for that quarterback position. Last year, they finished with more rushing yards than passing yards. I expect that to happen again this year with Bijan, with Cordero Patterson. If they can figure out that quarterback position, then they can have this division on locks because this division is begging for somebody to take over.
At 2,
So yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
I don't think that the Saints are better than the Panthers in terms of anything, but being that they have a rookie quarterback, I can't say that they're gonna go out and win the division. I'm not that bold, but I'm gonna say the Saints because I guess that they just have a more well balanced roster than everybody else in that division. I guess, or everybody else other than the Falcons.
I had I had the Saints being first. They just have the least amount of question marks to me. That was the reason about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, you could just throw a fucking dart, and whoever it lands on, you could say, yeah, that's who's gonna win this division.
Hey,
Because
I'm gonna keep it, bro. I'm gonna keep it a beam, man. Like I really do. I really cannot care less about
I
getting
don't
my
care, and it
This
doesn't
will be the
matter.
least watched division.
I really cannot care less, bro. Like you could reasonably say, the four teams in this division, if they're gonna finish first or last, there's a legit reason for
Well,
like either
except for
side.
Tampa. Except for Tampa. You shouldn't have them above third in any circumstance at all.
You can argue. You can argue.
Baker Mayfield redemption year. Come on, it's coming. Nah, I couldn't. No, I'm sorry. Nah.
Yeah, you got it.
You can
buddy.
argue. Yeah. I could make the argument, but I won't. I won't.
I'm not. Don't.
Prediction time. Will Baker get cut again during the season?
No, but
No.
he's not gonna get cut. But Kyle Trask will play some games.
That's a horrible sentence to say. But let's move on to number first because I do not want to talk about this division for any longer. And with that being said, I got the Panthers finishing 9-8 as the only team with the now with a below 500 record. And because of that, the reason why I think that the Panthers they have the most culture. They're the team that believes in what they want to do the most out of all the rest of the teams in this division. I think that last year showed a ton of potential what they want to do as this run based team, run first team. They're going to pound the ball for all four quarters, control the clock, and defensively they're going to be very aggressive. They're going to be very tough in the trenches with that D line. Very talented D line led by Derek Brown too and Brian Burns. And bring in a guy like Bryce Young into very talented QB out of Alabama. I do agree with Matt with him having some growing pains, but I don't think the wide receiver core is that bad as people may seem to believe. I think Terrace Marshall and Jonathan Mingo, they're two wide receivers. They're gonna shock some people this year.
No, I'm cool. I already said who I got first. I said I got the Saints first. 13. I got them 12-5 actually. I just think that they're gonna beat up on the division.
What the fuck?
No.
The Saints
I think they're gonna steamroll the division. I promise you.
a Derek Carr team getting 12 wins in the season. That's crazy.
Okay, Matt. If they
It's the best
steamroll the
defense he's ever
division,
had.
they
He'll be
play
serviceable enough.
6 games. They
don't
play
care.
6 games against the other teams. Where are they getting the other 6 games? The other 6 wins?
So they're 6-5 against the rest of the teams in the NFL. I don't remember who else they play, but they're basically 500 against actual competition.
I don't
think so, but whatever.
I'm going to pull up the Saints schedule right now. And okay, so they play week 1 against Tennessee.
I had them winning.
Loss.
I think they're home against them as well.
Oh, that doesn't matter, but that's a loss.
Mike Vrabel against Dennis Allen. I'm picking Vrabel all day. I got Tennessee.
Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
Yeah, hold on. So I got them beating. I got them beating the Panthers week 2, losing to the Packers, beating Buccaneers, beating the Patriots, beating the Texans, losing to the Jags, beating the Colts, beating the Bears, losing to the Vikings, beating the Falcons, losing to the Lions, beating the Panthers, losing to the Giants, beating my Rams, unfortunately, but we're ass. Beating the Bucks and then beating the Falcons.
Yeah, that team's not winning 6 straight against the NFC South teams. I don't think they'll go 6-0. I really don't. I really don't expect that to happen. I'm sorry.
The Falcons could take some.